welcome back. The situation is thus. Several devotees spoke to me just outside this door a few minutes ago and said that they were decamping tomorrow. Yeah. And I'm going to decamp the day after tomorrow. And what I'm considering is having this be our last meeting tonight. Well, I do have things to loose ends. I know near the end when I'm getting ready to head out back to Vṛndāvana and then back to the west, I have to get all my stuff together and loose ends tied up and stuff like that. So it could be helpful if I didn't have that. If I had a little extra time in the evening tomorrow. And I mean, how does it sit with all of you?
Bittersweet.
Bittersweet. What?
Or just bitter.
Just bitter. Well, let's take a few minutes for, if you would like me to read a little bit more, I picked out a book. I also have a fun exercise that I can play with you if you want a little transcendental entertainment. David Vretta doesn't like fun. Look at him. Okay. He's stoic. Well, I don't know. How are you all doing, Vaishnavi and Charnaravinda? You okay?
Yeah, we're out for a bit of fun.
You okay?
Yeah.
All right. What did he say? Oh, bit of fun. And what about what I said before that? About tonight being the last. Because devotees are decamping, and then the other thing is a lot of this electronic stuff has to get wound up tomorrow, right? I mean, there's a lot more than you think, putting away things and stuff like that. So tonight's the last meeting. And I know it came kind of abruptly, but that's the way it's shaping up. So, all right, we'll have a little bit of fun. So we distribute books, and we don't know exactly what people read when they get them. So today we're going to find out, because I'm going to open to any random place as if somebody just got a Gita for the first time. I'll open randomly, and we'll pretend that we're the new people and we're hearing it for the first time. We've never heard anything before, any kind of literature. I've never heard of Bhagavad Gita before, but some guy sold me the book on a corner. I got it. Goes home to his friend, and the friend said, "What'd you get?" "I don't know. I got this book." Well, said, "Let's open it." And so his friend grabs it from him and says, "I'm going to read you what's in here." So I'm going to open it randomly and seeing what his friend Larry reads to him for the first time. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Okay, here goes. Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Purport. Out of loving ecstasy for Kṛṣṇa, his friend, Arjuna is offering his respects from all sides. He is accepting that he is the master of all potencies and all prowess, and far superior to all the great warriors assembled on the battlefield. It is said in the Vishnu Purana 1969, whoever comes before you, even if he be a demigod, is created by you, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. What do you think?
What's obeisances?
Yeah, what's obeisances? Master of Limitless Life. It sounds like a superhero. Yeah. All right, let's try it again with another book. Here's a likely book someone might get. called Matchless Gifts. And so he was at a concert. He forgot even, because he was so high, that he bought the book and put it in his pocket, and he got home and emptied his pockets. And he's like, what's this? And now, before he goes to bed, it's 3 a.m, and he just opens the book for the first time randomly. Ready? 1, 2, 3. They are put into hellish conditions. Because they are envious of God's position. For they try to occupy high positions in this material world, and when they are frustrated in this attempt, they think, now I shall occupy the position of God. Of course, this desire is also frustrated because no one can become God. God is God, and the living entity is the living entity. God is supreme and infinite. We are infinitesimal. Our position is to serve God, and when we act according to our position, we become happy. By imitating God, happiness cannot be obtained. This is in italics. No, it's not. God, happiness cannot be obtained. Then he quotes, Yasaika nishasita kala matavalambya jivanti loma vilajajagadandanath. There are innumerable universes, and within one breath of the Mahavishnu, these universes are inhaled and dissolved within his body. How then can a living entity become God? God is not so cheap. Therefore, we must become advanced in knowledge and accept Vasudeva, Krishna, as the Supreme. There is no question of Krishna being a man. At no stage in his appearance on earth did he appear as an ordinary living entity. Even as a baby, he performed miraculous feats way beyond the abilities of an ordinary living entity. One should not consider that when he is surrendering to Krishna, he is surrendering to an ordinary man, but to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indeed, that is confirmed by all Vedic literatures. Agam dundvanti. All reactions to sinful activities are cancelled when one surrenders to Krishna. Cancelled. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna himself advises personal surrender to him. Sarvadharman parityajya, mam ekam sharanam vraja, ang tvam sarvapapebhyo moksha. Give up all varieties of religiousness and just surrender unto me, and in return I shall protect you from all sinful reactions. Therefore you have nothing to fear. Therefore one who is a devotee, Vasudeva Parayana, and who simply engages in devotional service is immediately freed from all sinful activities. That's amazingly dense, isn't it? Yeah. You get into Mahavishnu inhaling universes, how your sinful reactions are cancelled. And what? The real cancel culture? That's a good one. You could write a BTG article called The Real Cancel Culture. Huh? What were you going to say? Just that? Okay. Who said Krishna? Yeah, who's Krishna? And who's the girl with Krishna? That's in the Krishna book, where Prabhupada said, some of you look at this and say, no, who's Krishna? And who's that girl with Krishna? Well, let's take a few minutes then for final closing time. Charanaravinda and Vaishnavi, what drives you? I mean, you fly all the way from Australia, and I see you always doing seva here. They were sweeping up every day, and even sweeping the whole yard and the area where the devotees are going to sit. Can you give your realization about coming all the way here, and what drives you? We'd like to know.
We heard this Sangha was going on from a Vaishnava sister maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and somehow it just stirred up a desire within us just to at least I would say, have an experience of what it's like just to sit down and just do Shravanam, just in good association, because initially once we heard about the Sangha, we just participated online for a bit the first year when we heard about it, and we got attached, and we really liked the idea of just absorbing ourselves in hearing and chanting, particularly in a holy place like Govardhana, because we'd been here previously. And after once we got the initial experience, we become attached. And we saw the value of, obviously we take away many valuable jewels from this Sangha and this experience, but it's not the same as when you contribute some service as well. So my wife got inspired to contribute a bit of service for the reading, and once we started doing service here, only a little insignificant service, but we felt like we had connected more to the association and the experience of hearing and chanting. So already we're meditating on buying our tickets straight away and making arrangements for next year. And my wife's particularly mentioned that we're looking forward to continuing looking after the Yagyastali outside.
It's your eternal service.
Yeah, so that's it's been very beneficial, and we feel very blessed. So
thank you, Charanaravinda Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you all.
Vaishnavi, you want to say anything?
Feeling very grateful to be here. Feel like an imposter, but when we saw this Sangha and just being here, we feel like somehow we've got in, and we just want to stay in the association of such wonderful Vaishnavas, and that you facilitating such a amazing. We experiencing the spiritual world through the eyes of the scriptures, because you who are following Prabhupada so with your heart, then it goes deeper, and have the desire to try to improve and make progress in spiritual life, and try to apply this knowledge that Prabhupada has given, and to whatever small degree to share it with others. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Vaishnavi and Charanaravinda. We're so grateful to you for coming here and adding such a mood of Tivrena Bhakti, I would describe it. It's very noticeable. We won't have time to call everybody, but if anybody has any closing comments, things that you haven't said yet. Yes, Sudhira.
Just the way that the program you conduct, starting with Kirtan at the start of every session, then Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, different tunes, and at the end of each session and beginning of the evening session, then with Damodar Ashtakam and Kirtan, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the voice modulation you have, the pace with which everyone can follow without rushing, taking reflections, discussing very deeply, answering questions from multiple angles, not rushing at all. It's extraordinary. And in academia, I have been in circumstances where either because of the professor or the speaker's health or university circumstances, they send an announcement that it's cancelled. And sometimes students are happy also with it. But here, even with your intense schedule, not just this whole program, but your own personal schedule also, managing the whole movement, you were completely unstoppable. And you were saying that no one can stop us from hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and looking up different vocabulary words, looking up relevant Shastric quotes. That intense adhyayan, as it's called in Sanskrit, intense study, was extraordinary experience. I don't think I can ever do that on my own without this exposure. Then you feed the cows in a very happy mood, doing Gau Seva with the Gauranga stretch in betweens. So what I'm observing is it's like a complete package, and then there's sweets at the end for all that you distribute. So all the aspects of Krishna consciousness that we ever read or hear is all present here in this reading. And there's a quote by Srila Prabhupada in 1970 to a devotee wherein he's saying, it's natural that with the more increase of book distribution and literature, the program will expand and the movement will spread more. So I'm saying it's natural because of, as devotees are echoing, because of your dedication to Srimad Bhagavatam and the process of Krishna consciousness, that devotees are expanding the facilities outside people's party. You can see them, they can see you. It's expanding, it's natural. So thank you very much for bringing us. It's been a golden experience.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Sudhir Madhava. The sweets come from Sudhir Madhava. Wherever I go, something to give out. And factually, I wouldn't be able to keep up the schedule if it wasn't for you, taking care of everything behind the scenes. When I used to come here, I did everything myself. I used to go back and wash everything in a bucket and hang it up, and it just, I mean, you've taken so much of a burden off me so that I can do these things and have the energy to keep going. I'm very grateful for all that you do. Hare Krishna. Bhanavata Prabhu.
I feel like you've created an environment here where the fruit of bhakti can be experienced. And because I remember back in the early days when we were both living in the Bay Area, and you started your home programs, and there was always like a certain sweetness there, and the nature of your devotional service, and my experience of having your association is you're such a deeply caring person and are so focused on every aspect of cultivating your relationship with Krishna. So it's to spend so many days together in the environment that you've created based on hearing and chanting Prabhupada's books is very difficult to describe, but because I spend a lot of my time alone by myself and pretty much just in my own association, there's so many aspects of what I've experienced here that I feel has really satisfied me on so many different levels, that I feel like I'm experiencing like the fruit of my own devotional service, that simply practicing, mostly by myself, have been kind of undiscoverable. And so I feel that I was looking for something that could be a catalyst to my own devotional practice and mature and stuff. And I feel like I've gotten a lot from this that I'll continue to be able to feed off of for many months to come. Thank you.
Thanks, Bhana. I'm always celebrate the day I met you, San Francisco temple, and the time we've had together in this life. And you brought a kind of genuine enthusiasm to this Sangha that's undeniable. From your kirtans to the Krishna prema, to the prema dhvanis, and that's your stock and trade. It's genuine. Thank you for coming all the way here, and it's really a dream come true, because I just saw you in New Vṛndāvana, and it was a really special time we had together, and then to know that you just jumped on a plane and came here was made it contiguous. We keep it going. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Mahendra Prabhu.
I still remember, or never forget, how you told a story about when your service started increasing and you're sharing that 1 year, maybe this year, maybe kind of indicating you won't be able, and then your god brother said, don't even think of not coming, for Kartik. And
actually what he said was, I said, my service increased. Yeah, he did say, said, anyway, I'll just let you finish. Go ahead.
Please say it, how it was.
No, because I cut you off. You go ahead.
No. Okay. And but I remember that's just don't think even of not, and experiencing similar things of service piling up, and then I was like, okay, it will be really tough, and I cannot cancel, cannot say, well, I'm one month off, and I knew it will be intense, and it's getting more intense. Well, last year it was, I don't know, 2 weeks, 2 meetings extra, but this year was almost every day a meeting after the readings and calls during the day, and it was just for the body and mind, really exhausting. But I was like, no, I have to show up. I have to, and because being in your association and the association of these wonderful devotees and hearing from Srila Prabhupada with that mood of applying it in his mission, which is the highlight for me. It's not just philosophizing and but how to spread the mission and how to spread this his books and his message. It's just so surcharging. You forget everything else, and you're like immune to, because some of my service I have to deal with, and like once the Vrataprabhu entered, and he just wanted to, hey, my hand, and he was entering, and then he hears very senior one saying, we have to do investigation about this, and then he kind of retreats, and I just lie relaxed, listen, and before I would be very disturbed, but now it's like, yeah, okay, you have to do your duty, but the real thing is hearing and chanting and thinking about how to distribute it. And this comes from your wonderful example and this energy and all the detail, like Sudhir Madhava Prabhu said, from the morning program and everything, and the kirtans, and especially I so much like the prayers. It just adds this personal, you connected with Krishna and with Giriraj and with the deities, our Gaudiya Vaishnava deities, and the Gaudiya Vaishnava songs, which are about Sankirtan, and it just makes it so personal, so connected. Your heart explodes. I feel so happy and surcharged, and just cannot sleep of thinking of what to do, what to pray now, what's the plan, and what are the goals, and I'm just so grateful that somehow I ended up, I don't even remember how, but by the mercy of Giriraj and the senior Vaishnavas, and I'm so grateful to you that you're facilitating this and you're leading it in such an inspiring way, and your personal care and encouragement is so wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mahendra Prabhu. You're to me, the perfect combination of high learning and intellect and humility mixed together. It's a irresistible combination. And you've been coming here a long time, maybe since near the beginning, maybe 15 years or something, it seems like, right? Thank you. I really couldn't imagine doing this without you. Thank you for coming. Hare Krishna. Well, we just have time for maybe one or two more. Okay, 1, 2.
Hare Krishna. I first heard about these readings in 2011 or 12.
Is that on?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
In some classes, and I remember the first time I came in 2013, it was experiencing not just the readings, but the way that the whole program is set up. You have like every moment of your day is filled with Krishna consciousness, practically by force, and that's what catapulted me into the brahmachari ashram, because I wanted to have more of that. And I'm not a brahmachari anymore, and I don't have the same support system, and I haven't been here in 6 years. circumstantially because so many things came up. But it was an actual dream come true to be back and to see how there is an outside party now. And grihastas are more facilitated, and women and children, and there's everything. But just echoing what Siddhar Madhava Prabhu was saying, like there's a lot of rasa in every corner of this whole program, like just the way that you sing the prasadam prayers and the morning program and the weird little idiosyncrasies this ashram has that never seem to change, and the cows and everything, and it's just magical. And I said this earlier today, every time I come here I feel like I'm having deja vu, because there's always some part of me that is constantly here, and I only remember it when I come back. And there really isn't any substitute for hearing and chanting at a fever pitch with people who have a taste for it. There's nothing like it, The only thing that really comes, the only thing that's like it, but is also different, is like serious outreach, and they're both actually nectar. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this takes me, and when I get back, and really just praying to come back again next year.
Well, I can say I seriously missed you over the last 6 years, because one of the original enthusiasts for this program, and your contribution and your presence here, your focus on Shastra, enthusiasm for hearing, it really lifts everything up. So I was so happy when you came back, as I told you earlier. Thank you. Pray you can come every year, and then I can too. Well, one thing happened when the pandemic hit. I said, oh no. And we had Gopal, who was here earlier. He's always out and about, even during the height of the pandemic. He was texting me, I'm walking by it right now, and I'm like, stop it, and because we couldn't come and we couldn't get a visa. And so I think we missed 2 years in a row. And then somehow we got this, we went through all these channels to get some kind of weird visa that I still have along with my tourist visa, but we got in the country. And we got out here. And I got to the front, and see Kṛṣṇa Maharaj walked out the door. And we both looked at each other, and we just burst into tears. We couldn't, it was not normal. It was because of the place and the memories of this place, and just seeing each other, it was just kind of spontaneous. And it took a while for so I'm just relating to how you say this place is special. It's nothing to do with me. I have no propensity to cry, or nor do I have a soft heart or anything whatsoever. But it was because it was a spontaneous thing because of the place, and it was Maharaj being there, and just, it's a udipana. And because it's so, and I felt it was like, you can't help it. It just happened. I didn't think about it. It wasn't planned. I wasn't like, when I get there, I'm going to cry, And I felt embarrassed, actually, but I couldn't help it. So I was relating to what you were saying about you feel this place and the intensity of the yajna when you're here and when you go away, and when you come back after you've been forced to not come, it feels like, oh, Krishna let me back in again. And I was thinking how I can't take it for granted. Yes, we have it online. Oh, you were going next, and then we have it online. Okay.
So Divyanga Prabhu has left few comments. So I'll start reading from the first one. Divyanga Prabhu says, Mojal, thanks for keeping the transcendental vibes flowing. Thanks Bana, Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai. And thank you too, Mahendra, Mrigendra, Maitreya, a saintly devotee by any name. I'm sadly missing all of you. Please keep me in your prayers. Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Divyanga Prabhu. It was a special year for getting God brothers together. There are, I think, more this year than we've ever had. And plus, old friends and things like that. And new ones too. Devavrata.
So when I was coming to Govardhana, I felt like I had a lot of baggage from services and managerial things on my head, which I knew I was going to have to deal with while I was here, similar to Mahendra, and I was just wondering, how much am I really going to be able to focus? So I came here early just to try to get assimilated, just so I could try to be more present-minded, and I found being here over the past month was extremely intense on the subtle body for many reasons, and I've seen it can be very intense on the physical body for some people as well. And it's just been over the past 2 or 3 days where I've just really been appreciating the intensity of it, though. Where, yeah, that's there, but that's there to make you really go deep. And for whatever reason, this passing of Parvat Maharaj really left an impression on my consciousness. I've never met him, didn't know him at all. I've just heard you speak about that visit that he had to Satyadev Prabhu's, and it was kind of always seen in my mind as like kind of a comical, just the nature of a devotee. But after speaking with Banabhata Prabhu today, my friend Kṛṣṇa Loka Prabhu, and also reading a few biographies from devotees, for him to come here and live for 40 years straight, and with the determination, I'm going to stay in Vṛndāvana through thick and thin, I was just really appreciating that to come to live in Vṛndāvana is extremely challenging for many reasons, but if one has a higher purpose for doing so, then it's nectar beyond compare. So I was appreciating that, and then also thinking in my mind and praying in my heart that that intensity can be had anywhere, provided I'm ready to show up for it. And so now that we're at the tail end of Kartik, ending tomorrow, tail end of the readings, I really feel like all the baggage which I was carrying with me, I've developed a completely new perspective regarding it, and I don't really see it as a big deal, and a newfound determination for living in Vṛndāvana, at least within my heart, and praying for the opportunity to come and live in Vṛndāvana with you whenever you're here.
You're very welcome. And I've seen that coming to Vṛndāvana, especially, I'm coming to India 3 times a year now, but this is a special kind of retreat. And I agree with you on the intensity. I've seen, if you're not, it takes a while to get in resonance with the environment here. And if you fall out of resonance, it can be torture. Because you could be here and then not want to be here. That can happen. The mind can just flip and then you're gone. So it's a real art. It's like surfing or something. Learning to catch the wave while you're here and staying on it. Don't wipe out. And I've seen that as a really important part of my sadhana, to come to the Dham very deliberately, to leave things behind and be incognito in many ways, although not completely. And then to spend the time here and ride those waves, because it takes cultivation to be able to resonate with the Dham. Some people come here and then they wear a t-shirt that says, I left my heart in Vṛndāvana, and that's probably true, because it's charming. But to, as you were saying, going anywhere and then living there in your heart, you have to have a relationship here. Means Krishna's a person, and ārādhyo bhagavān vrajeśa-tanayas tad-dhāma Vṛndāvana. There's no difference between Krishna and his Dham. So to come here and then be able to feel welcome here, and also that you feel that this is becoming more and more the only place you really want to be, even when you're somewhere else. I think that takes a lifetime of dedication, of coming on a regular basis. That's why Prabhupada kept telling us every year we had to come. It was something he ordered all his disciples. He said, just come, whatever you're doing, because there were so many thoughts. Yeah, but we're building a temple, or is it just come? You have to come. So I really like the way you were thinking about that and the feeling of resonating with the Dham. Okay, looks like you're the last one.
I just wanted to take a time to thank all the devotees here, and I was appreciating the association of devotees so much, like right from the beginning. Being in the association and reading together was altogether a very different experience than reading at home, just sitting alone or in a group of one or two. But here with so many people, so many devotees together, and also like staying together, even like there were on Prabhupada disappearance day, we had the chance that in the evening we can go to Vṛndāvana and take darshan in his room. But then we would have to miss the reading. Like we were in two thoughts, and then I wanted to go, but Madhav and my husband were like, no, we don't want to miss readings. And I was thinking like, oh, I should also develop that kind of feeling that, oh, I don't want to miss it. And Madhav was so fixed, like, no, I don't want to miss it. I'm sure I don't want to miss it. Though his parents were going, and I was like more eager to go than him. And he was like, no, I'm not coming with you. I'll come with Prabhu later. You go ahead. And then even 2 days back when we went for Gopal Krishna Maharaj, like on that day when we went to Vṛndāvana, so I was thinking, okay, I want to stay some more time here. But then others were like, no, we really need to rush because the readings will start. We can't miss it. And like we had an option to miss lunch and come back on time, and they were ready for that, but I was like, no, I don't want to. I want to have lunch here. Like, and then like everybody was planning to have lunch there, but because of the timing, everybody was ready. Like even Kṛṣṇa Prabhu was like, everything is fine. I can just miss eating. I get everything, but I should be there on time. It's I just made a silent prayer. Oh Krishna, I also want to develop this kind of feeling, to have that intense desire to read more and not miss it, and to value it more. And then I felt like it worked, like even little bit, but yeah, I felt like just being sincerely and admitting and trying to like making a sincere prayer also helped me to appreciate it more. And even like when we went on parikrama, like Radha Kripa Prabhu and Mukharvind Prabhu, they were showing us all the different places. And then one day we met Prem Vilas Prabhu, and he was sharing his experiences in the early days when you went on parikrama, and he was sharing, and it was so mesmerizing. It was like almost doing parikrama with you, because the way he was sharing all the different things. And even Mukharvind Prabhu, when we were going around, he used to tell us exactly, like I think Radha Kripa Prabhu also shared the last day he left, that how he would tell us exactly where you stopped and what you prayed and everything. So I was like appreciating, and I felt so fortunate to be in association of devotees.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing how when you're in a group, then you get pulled along, and any little gaps there, then the other devotees make up for it. Such the power of association. Satam prasangam mamapiri sambido. And you and your husband have been such stalwarts, as I told you earlier. And all the service that you've been doing behind the scenes, cooking, doing the setup for the broadcast and everything, you really made a big difference this year. Thank you. So, when we get into appreciating everybody, and then there's more to appreciate, I always feel a hole in my heart. So I'll just say, in general, seeing everybody here and whoever's been here, I've noticed it's made a huge difference. I feel so satisfied to be in the association of devotees who want to hear, and the program has a life of its own by Prabhupada's mercy. One of the thoughts I've had about liking to finish a whole canto is somehow or other, it seems that it's a complete work, and I think of it almost as a hologram. When we read the whole canto, that all of it manifests. They don't want to miss any part of it. And Prabhupada manifests too. It's like he's in the room speaking to us very directly when that happens. And I also, when you do a parikram, you want to finish. And just starting in the beginning, going to the end, it has that sense of finishing. So I'm glad we achieved that together. And so many of us were here just for the whole thing. And then also thinking about the various eras of this, the last 23 days. There were the early era, then the mid-era. We could name them, like geological periods or something, because each one of them has a different feeling, doesn't it? The very beginning week, there's still jet lag and you feel heady, like, hey, I could fly if I jumped off the building. Or whatever it is, it's in the air, and then there's an intensity, and then some people come and stay for a little while and then go, and then you're really getting a lot out of their association, and then they leave, somebody else comes. And it's just staying in one place. Everything's achievable, especially if you just keep the vibration going. That's another thing we were talking about. So, yes, Devavrata? Oh, he's got to go to his meeting. Okay. We can call in a bomb scare or something like that.
I just wanted to offer special appreciation to Sudhir Madhava Prabhu, because he really was instrumental in many, many services, and a deep debt of gratitude to his communication and everything that he did on many fronts, working with me, working with other devotees, working with you. It was really a Herculean task, and I can't offer enough appreciation to him for his communication and willingness to sacrifice.
Here, here. I second, third, and fourth, and quadruple that. And there's also to you, Vata Prabhu, for taking up the service of, you had other plans to begin with, but you put everything else aside and just totally focused on this, organizing this, who stays where, who's coming, how the devotees are going to give donations, and it's an intense service, and you did it mightily and expertly, and it's goes on your eternal record. Thank you very much. Well, everybody out there in the outside people's party, thank you very much. It's just been a... Do you have your hand up, Kolavicha? Or are you just waving goodbye?
Yes, I just want to say thank you very much. I'm coming every year since 1920, when first time I meet you in Vṛndāvana, and then you mercifully told me to be in contact with your disciples, and then they gave to me the schedule of these readings. We start, I remember, in Vṛndāvana in 1920, and then here in Govardhana, the ashram Srila Prabhupada. So for me, it's like I am waiting for this for the whole year, because it's the opportunity to have this wonderful association. It's just your example, the way that you do everything, from the Mongol Arti, the japa, very intense, very clear. So it's make clear for me what is the process, what we should do. And later you do everything, the readings, you have so much passion with us, you are tolerant. So thank you very much. And thank you also for all the devotees who are here, who really give me so much inspiration to go on, that This really makes me to believe more in what Srila Prabhupada said, what Srimad Bhagavatam said about the wonderful effect of this association, this Sangha. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Jaden, Nimish Prabhu, for your amazing way of being present. I just noticed you're in samadhi all the time, and never sleepy, but always like pinpoint, focused, fantastic. I can't see who's in the back of the room, but there's just hazy figures. Who's that waving back there? The readers of past eras. But thank you very much to everybody. Hare Krishna. I'm deeply grateful. I'll say thank you in person whenever I get a chance. So now we, for some reason, I put the harmonium in the back, and we can have our ceremonial. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Giriraj Maharaj, all the previous acharyas, and Srila Prabhupada's divine books. If you so desire, please allow us to stay close to you whenever possible. Please let us be in resonance with your vibration. It's the only sane thing. It's the only sane vibration on the planet. And may we expand that vibration all over the planet to save the people from the hala poison that's expanding right now all over the universe. May we take some austerity on ourselves to reach out to people and give them solace, since we've been given solace by your lordships. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo. Last chance. Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo. Vanchakalpataruscha kripasindhaveva patitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakali Vaishnavini ki jai. Now we have the ceremonial moving with the chairs, and if we can get the harmonium in here, then we will have Damodar Ashtakam.